What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's your boy Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesday. It's here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification button, stay up to date with all my future Teachable Tuesday videos. Just want to show you guys the view where I'm at. I'm at a park. Nice little walk while we're doing today's video. As you guys know, this is the Love Series. If you don't know what the Love Series is, it's basically a series that I do every year where I talk about relationship stuff, dating advice. By the way, I am no dating coach whatsoever. Let me just go ahead and make that clear. Just a little series I do every month to talk about a little something here and there. And today's topic of discussion is going to be reciprocated effort and how to recognize the sign when reciprocation is not taking place and what to do afterwards. It's not the title of the video, by the way, but that's going to be the topic on hand. So we're just going to call it reciprocation at its finest. Now, what is the definition of reciprocation? Let's start there, in case you've never heard of it. Reciprocation is being able to receive the same amount of or something similar to something that is put out. So, for example, if I put out 50%, I would expect somebody else to put out 50% or somewhere near that amount, if not more. If I only put out 25%, I'm expecting the other person to possibly only put out 25% as well, if not more. Now, I know a lot of people might disagree with that, but that is technically the definition of reciprocation, right? You get in what you put out. Now, why is this so important when it comes to dating and relationships? Well, let me go ahead and explain. So the reason why reciprocation is so important, forgive me if you hear the noise in the background. They're doing construction in the back. I'll see if I can show you a video unless you run out of time. But anyways, the reason why reciprocation in relationships and dating is so important is because in order to have a successful romantic relationship, there has to be some give and take. It can't just be one side doing all the work and the other side doing hardly nothing. Now, as my mentor always says, and I say always on this channel, nobody's ever going to give you 100% of what they possibly can 100% of the time, because there are some days where they can't even give 100% of themselves. But the effort needs to be there on a consistent enough basis to know that you got something going on, especially when you start the initial process of dating. And the reason why I say more so in the beginning, I mean, all around, yes, but definitely in the beginning, is because you want to establish clear cuts of communication. You want to establish boundaries that should be in place. You want to establish good relationship norms or good dating norms if you're not yet in a relationship, but you're looking to get into one, right? Nobody wants to be on the other side where they're giving all they can, but nobody else is giving them back what they properly deserve, right? So what does reciprocation look like in dating? Let's start there. When you're dating someone and you get to know somebody early on, reciprocation looks like consistent communication. It also looks like ideas of, dates and whatnot, right? Granted, as a man, I'm a firm believer that the man should take the initiative initially, but I believe it's a beautiful thing when a woman decides to put her 2 cents in and she states maybe some places that she wants to go. Or she might state, you know what? Hey, you had me last time. Let me get you this time. That's a beautiful part of reciprocation. And knowing that, I know he's the man, but I'm going to take care of him every now and again. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. That also shows a high level of interest, if you will, right? What does reciprocation look like in relationships? Well, same thing as in dating, communication, maybe going out to different places, offering suggestions, offering to pay, stuff like that. But also maybe taking turns to call, right? So if you notice that you're the first person to initially call or text, the other person, they might do the same. So I might text you 4 times out the week, good morning. You might text me 3 times out the week, good morning. It's not so much of a who's going to text who first or who's going to call who first. It just should seem effortless, right? Reciprocation, in my personal opinion, is effortless when it's in the truest of sense. Because at that point, both parties are looking to build with one another, right? Even in the beginning stages of getting to know one another, there definitely should be some reciprocation there. What does reciprocation not look like? Well, plain and simple, the opposite. If I'm always the one calling or texting and that person never calls or texts back or makes initial contact, that's not a form of reciprocation. If I'm always the one setting dates, right? That's not a form of reciprocation. I mean, once again, I'm a man. I do believe in taking the initiative. But ladies, there's nothing wrong with you taking the initiative every now and again. You know what I'm saying? Especially if that man has got you time and time again and you're really interested in that man. You know what I mean? What else does reciprocation not look like? Anything less than a yes on a consistent basis. That's not a form of reciprocation. Everybody's not going to want to do everything that you want to do. Everybody might not be ready to move to certain stages in the relationship. But if it's a constant no over and over and over again, unless it's something that crosses your moral boundaries, that's not a form of reciprocation, right? So what should you do when reciprocation takes place? What should you do when reciprocation does not take place? Well, when it takes place, obviously, plain and simple, keep the reciprocation going. Keep it going with this person. If you like this person and things are going great, keep it moving, keep building, keep growing, because that's going to build into a beautiful relationship if it's not already there. And if it is a beautiful relationship, it's going to evolve into an even more beautiful relationship. What should you do when reciprocation is not there, however? Well, if reciprocation is not taking place, I think you should talk to that person about it. You know, find out what's going on with her. Find out what's going on with him. See why they are not showing the same amount of effort. Maybe it's just a conversation. A lot of times when it comes to dating and relationships, a lot of things can be resolved through conversations, right? Unfortunately, we live in a society where nowadays it's so easy to either point the finger or just simply get rid of things when things are not to our liking, right? I think we have to stop doing that. I think we have to start going back to the basics of actual communication and being like, you know what? I need to address this because maybe they don't know, instead of just assuming. And I've been guilty of that, right? A lot of times I would assume, well, they a grown woman. They ought to know. Or they would assume he a grown man. He should already know. No, not quite. You would think that, but far from the case. All right? So communicate and let it be known, hey, you know, I've noticed I've been doing this, and it kind of bothers me a little bit that, you know, we're not on the same playing field. What can we do to change it? And if that person is really into you, I can guarantee you 9.5 times out of 10, they will make efforts to change that, right? Maybe that's something they're not used to. Maybe they didn't think it was a big deal until you brought it up. Maybe it was never a big deal before in past encounters, right? So with that being said, what should you not do when reciprocation is going on? You should not stick around for too long. If you've addressed the issue, talked about it, and reciprocation is still not on an even playing field or close to it, it might be time to move on from that situation. Because the further you get along, the worse it's going to get. All right? A lot of people have this mindset of, well, if I just keep loving on them, if I keep showing effort, then eventually they'll come around. If they're not already at that point where they're willing to meet you at the halfway mark or close to it, or at least show signs that they're working towards it early on, you can't think that it's going to get better with a relationship. A relationship, or let me phrase that. Somebody told me this, and I'm going to end off with this quote right here. A marriage only magnifies things from where it's already at. And you can apply that same aspect to an actual romantic relationship. When you're in the dating process, your job is to get to know who that person is and figure out what's good versus what's not good, right? The things that are not good, if they're not addressed and worked on early enough, regardless if it's things with you or that other person, they're only going to multiply as you level up in the field of a relationship. So when you get to a relationship, that stuff that you were dealing with on the dating stages, it's going to multiply times 2. When you get to a marriage, that's going to multiply times 4, probably even times 8, right? So it's good to address these issues. And to me, I personally think that reciprocation is one of the easier issues to address early on in the dating stages, early on in the relationship stages, compared to other things, right? Now, will I say this will be the end-all, be-all to fix all the challenges when reciprocation may not be taking place? Because sometimes it can start off as reciprocation and fall off. Well, no, it won't fix all the problems, but again, that's where the conversational piece comes back into play. Talking to your partner or your potential partner to find out what's going on, right? Because again, you never know until you say something or speak up, all right? So hopefully that helps. Bottom line, only deal with people that are willing to reciprocate the same effort that you're putting out. If things don't seem like they're going the way they should, talk to that person, figure out what's good, see if you can work on it. If they can work on it, cool beans, keep building. If not, it might be time to go and find somebody else who will. All right? Again, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesday, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me for the special edition of the Love Series. I'm going to be having a lot of videos dropping this month, so please make sure you stay tuned. And remember, I'm not a dating coach. I am just a man who is here to help people out the best way that I can in all aspects. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.